Hi guys, so we did the parent functions of sine and cosine on Monday. Today we're graphing them using AH and K, which you guys should already remember and know because we've done AH and K all year. So it's just a quick refresher. A is our multiplier and it also tells us whether or not we're positive or negative. Our H is our left-right shift, always goes the opposite direction you think it will, and our K is our up-down shift. A hint for H is that H is always in terms of radians. Okay, so every time you see a plus or minus and then like pi over 4, pi over 2, something of that nature, that's our H. Okay, so we're going to do 2 sine examples. The next video is going to be 2 cosine examples with some negatives and then an AH and a K. Okay, so looking at the first one, we've got y is equal to 2 sine theta. Just like all the other graphing we've done, we're going to want to identify our AH and K. Looking at this one, we've got a 2 in front of the sign, so that's going to be our A. Put that in. Okay, and then we've got theta, and there's nothing being added or subtracted to sine or at the end. So our H and our K are both zeros. So just like we've done the whole rest of the year, we've got steps for doing it. The first step is going to be plot our parent. So this is sine. Sine starts at 0, and remember guys, it follows that same pattern, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1 in both directions. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that in. 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing going in the opposite direction. So we've gone 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so that gives us that curve, that parent function. Okay, from there we're going to go ahead and multiply our A to it. In this case our A is 2, and again we use these points because everything is 1s and 0s. So that's really easy to multiply 2. Everything that's 0 is going to stay as 0. Everything that is being multiplied by 2 is either going to be positive 2 or negative 2. So in this case we would have a 0, 2, 0, negative 2, 0, 2, 0, negative 2, 0. Okay, our last step is to look for that H and K. In this case scenario, there is no H and K. So all of those green circles, which were where I did my multiplier, that's going to be our finished points. So I've got this. These are my finished values. Okay, and then from here we just sketch it in. Down. Remember guys, this is curvy. Those sinusoidal waves give us a curve. Okay? So that's all there is to it. So that one is just using an A. On our second example, we're just going to have an H here, which we can see because we've got a pi over 2. So again, H is always in terms of radians. Okay, so looking at this, I've got sine x plus pi over 2. This could also read as theta plus pi over 2. That's interchangeable with these, so it just depends on what you get. So again, identifying this, if I don't have anything out front, that means my A is a 1. Okay, we do have an H here, and just remember guys, with H, with graphing, it always goes the opposite direction you think it will. So since this is positive pi over 2, this is going to be negative pi over 2. Okay, and then lastly, looking for a K, we don't have a K, so our K is going to be 0 because we are adding and subtracting 0 to it. So once again, I'm going to plot that parent function, which is sine theta. Again, sine starts at 0, so 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. Okay, and then it also moves in that opposite direction, following that exact same pattern. 1, 0, negative 1. Jump over here. Negative 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so it follows that exact same pattern. Okay, lastly, I do a multiplier by A. There is no multiplier of A on this one because we only have it being 1. So our x's stay exactly where they are. So multiplying A in would mean no change. Okay, lastly, we move HK. So since h is negative pi over 2, This means I'm shifting my whole thing left pi over 2. And we can see here that each of these increments is in terms of pi over 2. So essentially, I am just shifting everything left 1 unit on the x-axis. So I'm just going to go in here, create a dummy mark right here, and then just pull everything left 1. Okay, and then once again, all we have to do is connect. So again, it's connect, it's curvy, and we just come in here and connect all of those values, and there are our graphs. Stay tuned for cosine.